What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. At the moment, FanFest is underway and we're being introduced to a whole load of cool stuff that is going on and will be coming up in future. I may try and do a bit of a FanFest rundown when it's finished with all the announcements and things, but there's too much happening too fast right now for me to try and do it. But this video, yesterday at FanFest, the Jovian gates came online. So the new system of what's it called? Sorry, Zarzak, Zarzak, is now open and is available for capsuleers to go and have a run around in. There are some crazy mechanics going on in there. There's not too much to do and explore yet because it's all going to be introduced and opened up in a bit of a staggered fashion. But it's crazy mechanics and we're going to go and check it out. Just in case, for those of you that have been playing EVE under a rock for this last couple of months, there are 4 Jovian Stargates that have been discovered by capsuleers across the universe. There's a new entity called the Deathless who is threatening New Eden basically and is providing safe haven for the Guristas and the Angel cartel, and that's sort of where the lore and the storyline is going at the moment. And we have this ancient Jovian system called Zarzak, which is where the Deathless has decided to set up base. So we found these 4 Stargates in the last months. They've been offline and completely unusable. They've just been structures in space, but they did turn on Friday. So a couple of things to note from a mechanics point of view, if you haven't already seen. There's some pretty cool stuff here. So first of all, like the gas cloud that this gate is hidden within is pretty awesome. And the other thing you'll notice, I'm currently 200 kilometers from the gate. It's not here. There is no gate. So we'll see as we're warping closer that it decloaks and you can get that animation every time. When I was burning away from the gate, it recloaked at 110 kilometers. So that might be worth us bearing in mind when we jump into Zarzak because of some of the mechanics going on there. The other thing to note is this is not at all safe at the moment. There's obviously a lot of interest in this part of space. This gate is in Alsavoinen, which is low sec. There's another one in Turner, which is also low sec and has some weird mechanics and it's of its own. And then there are 2 null sec gates. That's it. No access to this through high sec, so you can see, people camp the gates. There's stuff going on. And once you're inside the system, it's full null sec. It's -1 currently. There are going to be some weird policing mechanics coming out that make it some kind of hybrid between low sec and null sec, but right now it's -1 and there is no security. So let's just have a quick look on the map because I find this quite interesting. If you haven't already been aware, if we make sure we select on Alsavoinen, you go over to here to this bit of dark space over here. There's a new region called Zarzak, and within that new region you have Zarzak, and there's also a constellation name as well, Duznakar, which is pretty cool. There's Zarzak at -1, and it's 4 gates spread way across the universe. They're not local, they're spread way across. You got Turner in here, Alsavoinen up here, and then the 2 null sec systems, and I think that's Curse and maybe Tribute or VNull. And then to just zoom in on the system a little bit, you can tell that there's currently not too much going on by the map, basically. You've got the 4 gates spread out across the 4 corners of the system. It's a sphere, I know you can't have corners, but it is what it is. And there is the sun and, the star, and 1 station called the Fulcrum. Now, if you haven't already seen it, that station is amazing. So we're going to go and take a look at that if we can. And the star is A0, which if you don't know, does have its own strange mechanics as well and means certain things in game. There's a few A0 systems across New Eden, so presumably those mechanics will translate into this system as well. So I'm going to try and jump in. I do also want to talk about the new ships that have been announced, but let's go ahead and jump in here. First thing to note, I've already said this, but it's incredibly dangerous. There's all sorts of PvP going on, and the system itself has some crazy dangerous mechanics. So I expect to lose my ship doing this. I am in a Covops, I'm in a Buzzard, and I'm cloaked, but I'm in a clean clone, and I'm fully prepared to lose my ship. I've just come in Covops to try and increase the chances of not dying while we take a look at some stuff. So, who's sat here? A cheetah, that's okay. Let's warp to gate and watch it uncloak, if it'll not pull me away like that. Here we go. You warp into this and then it uncloaks, and you've got this amazing looking gate, ancient Jovian gate. And let's not hang around, let's jump in. There is a fee to go in. This may scale, we're not sure currently, so you'd have to pay to enter. It's currently really cheap, but you need, if you are enlisted with these pirate factions, which will be a new mechanic that is coming out soon, you then don't pay the fee, but for now everyone has to pay the fee to enter. So that's something else they've announced, is the content is Capsuleers will be able to side with Angel and Garistas in support of their cause, basically. Okay, so I'm going to move gently and put my cloak back on, because we've got a lot to unpack as soon as we land in system. Let's just control F9 for a second. This is the gate, just like the other one, but this time not shrouded in dust. Looks fantastic. And up here we have, stop my ship, we have a black hole, and this is the feature of the system, is this massive black hole. Let's have a quick talk about what that black hole is. If we go back to the map, how close are you? Warping off, good. If we go back to the map, we have point of no return, and this has been on the map for a long time. I don't know how long, but I think it's always been there. And basically the point of no return is this black hole in the sky. You can read about it here, just a little bit of lore, but yeah, this is the black hole. And so because they put Zarzak next to it, which also probably lends itself to why this system was lost and hadn't been discovered for a long time, is because navigating this close to the black hole is incredibly difficult. And that's it. There you see it, and you can see all the theme of the background is this huge clouds of dust and particles in space being sucked into this giant black hole. Actually, I think it's supposed to be a small black hole, but still, relative to everything else, they're giant. We have a lot of wrecks running around out here. It's of course tempting to go and look at them, but they are probably bait. You can see all the corpses as well. They've been made so that they are accessible to all, which means they're probably bait. So we'll leave them alone, but maybe later, if I'm feeling brave, we can go and have a look. So something else you may have just noticed there is this shimmer, and we will talk about that in just a second, because what it is, you'll see this effect here saying you are protected from the Zarzak gravity hazard. So this again is a direct impact of the of the black hole, sorry. And the black hole is generating the Zarzak gravity hazard, because gravity in this part of space is so high. And these shimmering effects that you can see here that have sort of come from Abyss, like the Proving Ground mechanics, they demark the edge of safe space, which I guess goes up to this line here. around the gate. I'm gonna warp to station and stuff first. Actually, while it's quiet here, let's have a look while it's quiet here. I'm just going to slowly start moving in this direction towards the edge of the shield, because what happens is quite interesting, and I want to test how big this shield is as well, because we're at 25 kilometers currently, and so it's maybe only 50 kilometers, so you'll need to be careful with certain mechanics. So as we get closer to the edge, nothing changes, but once we cross that boundary, you'll see that suddenly this effect changes. We're no longer protected, and you start taking damage. Now the way that damage works is very interesting as well, because basically it is percentage based hull damage directly. Doesn't do any damage to your shield, doesn't do any damage to your armor. It is hull damage directly, and is percentage based on your hull HP. So every ship, theoretically, regardless of its health and its resists and all that kind of stuff, should die in the same amount of time. So I am no more at risk doing this in my CovOps Buzzard than you would be doing this in a Titan. Like it would take the same amount of time to die. We appear to be getting quite close to the boundary. How far are we currently? 51. You can see it's starting to come in as our, there we go, as our HUD starts to warn us that we're getting close. People fighting in local. Okay, we're starting to get close. I'm a little bit nervous about this because in theory, obviously, I understand what's supposed to happen, but it's the first time I'm doing it, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to go far at all from the edge because I want to get back in as quick as I can, because I don't want to die just yet. Here it comes. I could drop cloak and burn, but one of the things I want to check is whether you stay cloaked whilst doing this, or if when you cross the barrier and start taking damage is whether it decloaks you. So that's one of the things I'm testing now, and we'll see how that mechanic works. So we are about to cross, and we should see this change. That changed. And our gravity hazard protection is expiring, and we can see the mechanic happening on our ship. We are now being damaged by the gravity hazard. Whoa, look at that. I'm still cloaked, but I am now taking damage. And that damage ramps up the longer you spend out here. So you take a little bit to start with as a percentage, but then that percentage I think is exponential, so it might double every tick, I think. But then all you do is cross back in. Look at that, the graphics on that are awesome. So I'm back in, so hopefully this will go away in a second, but look at that. That's amazing. Get my face covered in it. So yeah, that's what happens, but we stayed cloaked, which is nice. Other things I want to test is whether, despite being cloaked, whether other people can see that happening. That would be cool to test, but I'm not going to do that now because I'm only here by myself, not here with a courtmate. Yeah, so around each gate there is this protective bubble, and it appears to be roughly, I didn't check, but roughly 70 kilometers from the gate. And so what that'll mean is something else I want to test, and we will... Oh, will we test it? Before we leave the system, we're going to test it. I'm going to go and check out the other stuff first, but before we leave the system, I'm going to test what happens if I warp to 100 on gate. Whether it pulls you into the protective shield, like a bubble, or whether you just start dying because you've warped to 100, would be very interesting. Yeah. And the other thing you'll need to watch for, of course, is you can't perch these systems. If you don't know what I mean by perch, it's basically creating a bookmark over 150 kilometers away, so that you can warp directly between the bookmark and the object, but keep the object on grid. That won't be possible because you'll be out of the bubble, because it only goes about 70-75 kilometers away. So that's awesome. And this is all caused, as mentioned, by the black hole. That's what's causing this effect. And so this must be some kind of ancient Jovian technology that is creating this bubble, is doing this. And we see in the trailer for the expansion that's coming out, Eve Havoc, that the Deathless is trying to learn about the Jovian technology and harness it more and more. So what we'll probably find, my speculation here, is that the Deathless is then able to generate more of these zones, either expand them or have more structures and set up more zones, and yeah, just generally maybe one day expand it to the whole system. Okay, next thing, let's go to the Fulcrum, the one station in here. I guess the other things to quickly look at is you've got the 4 gates, as mentioned. They all will have the same mechanics as this one with the bubble. We have the Fulcrum, which is the station, and then we've got the star and the Deathless construction site, which is also on the star. So let's go to the station. Before we warp there, you will see that you currently require standings to be able to use any of the facilities, and these standings are 10, which is obviously maximum. These are very likely to drop, but may still stay in place, but at a lower level. And I believe you also need 10 to dock currently. So no one can dock and use the facilities right now. Okay, let's warp there. I'm going to warp to within 20 to try and ensure that I land inside the bubble, but stay cloaked. Let's see how we go. I might land, get decloaked and die. The warp animation is pretty cool here as well, much more soupy. I think that's because that's a lot of drones and wrecks. And yes, we have decloaked. So let's immediately target painted and killed, just like that. So fun. Look at them. Okay, so that's the end of that, but here's the Fulcrum. Just immediately dead. Okay, I will reship and come back because I want to take a look at the construction site and see what happens there. We're not going to be able to look at the Fulcrum. That's pretty ridiculous that they can do that, but obviously a group has already decided that they're going to just fully camp that, which is fine. Like, of course, anyone can do that, but it does mean the rest of us can't go and take a look at the moment unless we go in a very organized fleet. Let's see who it is. Oh, it's Fraternity. Okay. Yeah, so Frat have decided they're gonna own the Fulcrum for the time being in Vagabonds and Munins, and that explains why they hit so well. Target painting monitor. Okay, so yes, I am going to reship and I want to go and take a look at the Deathless construction site. So I'll see you back in a second. Okay, here comes attempt number 2. We're just about to splash into Turner, which is where the other low sec gate is. This time I'm in a shuttle. That might be a mistake. I might just die like instantly, but you know, if the chance of me decloaking in a CovOps are really high anyway, then let's go with the shuttle. So let's see how we get on. Let's go to the Zarzak gate and splash on landing this time. So yeah, Turner's got its own stuff going on. Like you can see its own effects there. If I understand correctly, it's got a wormhole link similar to Thera. Oh, I love that animation. Different gas cloud on this one. I will accept the fee again. And let's go in. Music changes and everything. So we should see less racks here this time. We do. That's interesting. Cool. And I'm going to go straight for, on this occasion, the Deathless construction site. Let's go to 50 and see where we end up. Bit concerned obviously about bouncing out of the system as mentioned, but let's see. We land on the Deathless construction site, and do we get insta-blapped? No, there's only a capsule, so we should be okay this time. Either way, let's start. How close am I? Let's go this way. So, a couple things to note when we land here at the Deathless construction site. This big old structure here, like this is big, right? I'm on maximum zoom out at the moment. This is a Jove observatory, which we see scattered across New Eden, but this is an online, fully functional Jove observatory. So that's interesting thing number one. There's then these things being built. They are currently unqueryable. How close am I to the edge? Let's just go in. They are unqueryable, but are clearly something going on. I think this is a Deathless shipcaster, I think it's called. So when it's finished, that's going to be a Deathless shipcaster, which I don't know what that means, but maybe we might end up with some additional ships. Maybe you know, once they've got some structures built and things, the Deathless will be able to start producing their own stuff, which would be awesome. And then again, just the visuals on this part of space are just amazing. This I think it's like some, you know, asteroids or a moon or something quite close to the sun has just been torn apart by the black hole's gravitational well, and it's all just being ripped off and into the gravity well. So let's have another quick look at this. It's outstanding. This might have to be my screenshot. It all looks so good, man. Here's the Jove Observatory. So that's what there is to look at here. We're not far from the Fulcrum. It's all on the sun. Like if I go Fulcrum now, you see we're significantly less than 1 AU away. Just up there. Can I look at from here? No, okay. Yeah, so not too far away. And so while we're flying around here with the nice background, let's talk about the new ships, because there are some exciting announcements here. You may already know about the two destroyers, right? So all these new ships are from the Angels and the Garista faction. Let's go to the ship tree for these two. That's not the ship tree. Ship tree. For the Angels, already in the system, you have the Mekubal, which you can simulate, and you can find out all the information you need on. So you can go and find out about this. This is already in system. You can't quite buy it yet, but it's going to be available from the LP stores for the Garistas, for the Angel faction, I should say in this case. This is going to have projectile turret bonuses, both Galente and Minmatar destroyers, so big projectile bonuses with 4 turret hardpoints and 100% bonus to the damage. So that could really pack a punch for something quite small, and it's got the bonuses to warp speed and acceleration, which is pretty awesome. And it does seem like quite a high number of slots for a destroyer. You should be able to get the DPS really high by stacking the damage mods in the bottom with the 4 turret hardpoints. Yep. So that's the Minmatar one, and then there's also the Mamba, which is the Guristas version. So this is just built on the Korax hull, whereas the Mekubal, I think, is a unique hull, I think. This is built on the Korax hull, but again, basically is utilizing the strength of the Kaldari with the Korax, with the number of missile hardpoints in this case. So you can go a full missile boat with bonuses to your missile damage, like most Gurista stuff, but then also introducing the drone boat roll, again reminiscent of other Gurista ships. So it does its light combat drones, big bonus, but you can only field 2 at a time with the bandwidth. Drone bandwidth 10 megabits per second. So there's those 2. Now these aren't released in game yet, but they have also announced. Oh, I should probably look at that. People are fighting nearby. Someone's going to die. They also have just announced at FanFest. They teased them yesterday, but they went into detail today. There is a new Minmatar. There is a new Angel Cartel battle cruiser, which is really exciting. And same for the Guristas. They have a new battle cruiser coming out as well. These are not released in game yet, but they did release the stats just a few minutes ago. So I don't have them right now, but we can take a look at them in future. But again, sticking to the similar themes, the Guristas is going to be the Drake hull, but with massive drone boat skills again, and the Minmatar. Why do I keep saying Minmatar? They're all built on the Angel faction battle cruiser is a brand new hull design. It looks awesome. So you should go make sure you go find it and have a look. And then, of course, last but not least as well, is that the Angel Cartel have finally finished the designs on their Titan, which not super exciting for me and those of us that don't play in nullsec, but for the nullbox, I know they've been waiting for the Titan for a long time. So that's pretty exciting news. And again, if we go to the ship tree, I think it kind of it makes sense. Like where has the Angel Titan been all this time? Because Guristas have a Titan. Sorry about my overlay. The Blood Raiders have a Titan. Serpentis have a Titan. Angel Cartel, no capitals at all, not had a Titan. And similarly, actually, Sanchez Nation also no Titan. They have got a carrier, but now they will be the only pirate faction with no Titan. So maybe that'll come next. Maybe. Okay, so that's everything I want to talk about. Everything I want to show you. Let's go and see if I last any time at the Fulcrum. I'm going to warp to within 100, which means I will probably fall outside the bubble and die, but I want to test that. I'm only in a shuttle, and if I land any closer, I'll be insta-locked and dead anyway. So let's go and have a look and see if we can get a good look at the station before I get insta-blapped. Where do we land? Inside. Still well inside. Let's control F9. I'm hopeful. Like you can see how massive it is. Right? I'm as zoomed out as it can possibly be at the moment, and I cannot get it in shot. Somewhere in that gap over there is the actual entrance to the station, which should be 100 kilometers away from. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get over to it. But it's massive. This huge jovian structure that the Deathless has got hold of. So can we? Oh, I mean, look at them. How many of them are there here? I mean, fair play to them, of course. Someone had to come and do it, I guess. But it is stopping people from coming and having a look. The fleet that killed me, though, is gone. Who is here now? Darkside. So maybe Darkside have come and pushed Frat off. Maybe I don't know enough about the politics to know whether that's possible. Life Alliance. Maybe I just got unlucky with my timing, which is also distinctly possible. Oh, can we walk up there? Not quite. 8 kilometers. Let's go this way, and then we'll warp up. It's a wreck, which means we're probably in range of getting shot, but I do want to see above the entrance, if we can. Let's go up to this one.
You cannot walk there.
Ah, okay. Interesting. So you can't warp around near the station. Can't warp on the same grid. So let me just try somewhere else.
You cannot walk there because natural phenomena are disrupting the ship.
Can't warp on the same grid. So if I manage to get to the top, I will skip over and we can have a look from the top down. But it's going to take me a little while to fly there in a shuttle. And I will probably get blapped on the way. A big fleet just walked out. I'm going to walk back to the Turner gate and come in at 100 because that should leave me on top. Or at least closer to being on top. Which gate's that one? GTAC O. Go to the Turner gate.
Warp drive active.
I've walked within 70, so I should be right on the boundary of this. Let's see. Whoa, that's where the fleet went. I probably should have paid attention to that. Walked within 100 of the Fulcrum.
Warp drive active.
Because they're all shooting each other. Yeah, so if you do want to come and have a look at this yourself, you've got to be really careful. This is one of the reasons I wanted to jump in and do it for people, because I know there will be some. Oh, look at that! And the cloud loads later. I know some people will really struggle to come and do this themselves. So that's the main reason I want to do this, because, yeah, is this stiletto just going to kill me? Probably, right? Leave me alone for now. But there you go, this is the Fulcrum. It's absolutely huge. It's directly above the sun. You can see the sun's hidden underneath. And that's the entrance to the station down there. I just love the atmospheric stuff. The gas cloud is amazing. Props to the art team for all of this stuff. Phenomenal. So big. Well, yeah. I guess I'll just leave it. Just leave it there, I suppose. So that's the other thing, but that's why you get decloaked. I've warped to 100 at range. I warped to 100, but I'm still within 0 of the station. So that's why you get decloaked on landing. So do be careful, you cannot be cloaky on the way in. I guess while I'm here, what's the nearest thing? I could just go, I've got 10 meters cubed, I could just go see if I can loot stuff. Caldari cruiser, a Mar frigate, I want elite frigate. Let's just go to that Caldari cruiser. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. I'm just gonna float around until I get popped, so that I'm back out in high sec where I need to be before going home. And yeah, I'm really excited for what comes next with the Deathless and the Deathless Circle and all of this good stuff. Stay tuned to FanFest. Make sure you head over to CCP's Twitch channel and watch any of the recaps you can on FanFest. There's so much good stuff coming out. It's really exciting. That's my rec, so maybe I'll head down there, see if I can get some of my stuff. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found it useful and exciting, and you're as excited as I am. As more stuff comes out, look at it swirling off into the bloody black hole. As more stuff gets released, I will be trying to keep you guys up to date. So if you are interested, please subscribe to the channel, and you will turn on the bell, and you'll be kept up to date with all the things happening. And if you did like the video, please give it. There we go. Who is it? An Atron. Please give it a thumbs up, and I will die here in my shuttle from this little Atron. I guess unless someone comes and kills him first, which is kind of possible. He's not doing a very effective job of shooting me at the moment. Yeah. Alright. I'll die eventually, I'm sure, if I stay long enough. It looks like I just got really unlucky with that initial fleet landing. One person has tried to come in a lot in their Reaper. But anyway, as I said, guys, please like, please subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.